Hi everyone, in this video I want to give you a quick comparison between independent and related tests. Independent versus related tests. Okay, so for independent tests, okay, for independent tests, we know they are not biased, which is good, but not powerful. Okay, for related tests, they're powerful, but biased. Okay, so the question is, which one do we pick? Which one we want to use? So when we answer the question, the first thing we need to point out is that bias is really bad. Bias is really bad. We really don't want to have bias. Okay? The reason is bias are what we call non-random error. Non-random error. Which means, or another word to say, this is systematic errors. Which means that it's on average will get incorrect information because of the bias. Formally, we say that bias will lead to shift of the distribution away from the correct mean. Okay, so this bias will shift the correct mean. Okay, what it means, let me demonstrate to you with distribution plot or graph. For independent tests, what we had is it's not very powerful. So let's say the true mean is here. Okay. So let's say the true mean is here. For independent tests, it's not very powerful, which means that the variance is large, right? So the distribution is more spread out. So with a large variance. But the problem is, I mean not the problem, but the good thing is that on average, the mean is correct. On average, mean value is correct, right? So even though you have more spread out data, so large variance, but on average, your mean is correct. Where for related tests, what's going to happen is you will have a small variance, so the data are concentrated, but then the mean is going to be incorrect, right? So let's say the mean is here, but say the distribution is somewhere here, right? As you see, the distribution it's closer to each other. The data points are closer to each other, which means that you have a small variance. So you have a small variance. But then let me use a red pen. But then if you see the mean for this distribution, it's incorrect, right? Because if this is the correct one, we have to shift it. So this is wrong mean. Okay. So what's the conclusion? Okay. So the conclusion is, if we think there's a bias problem, we're not going to use related tests, right? If there's a bias, we're going to use independent tests. So the conclusion is, if we have reasons to believe we have Porter or carryover effects, which means that it leads to bias, right? If we know with bias, then we should definitely use independent test. Okay. We should use independent test, right? Because bias are really bad. They shift the whole distribution away from the correct mean. Okay, very good. So this video gives you a quick comparison between related tests and independent tests. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.